Good morning. It's me, Paula Gardner. And it's early. I haven't even yet washed my face or brushed my teeth, but I feel so compelled to share this with you. Yesterday, I was asked the question, how do you balance the use of props and modifications with the original intention and integrity of the yoga pose? And I wanted to pull my hair out. I was able to answer without spitting, but here I am today putting together my class for this morning, and these words are tumbling around in my head. Let us be clear. The original intention of yoga is, as BKS Iyengar described it, to reach the soul. The body is the bow, asana is the arrow, the target is the soul. So the original intention and integrity of a pose comes entirely from within. It is honoring your body, your mind, your spirit that makes the integrity of the pose. So today I would like to show you a pose that is frequently performed in yoga classes, and it's a great pose, but not everybody can do it. And I will tell you that leading up to this pose today, what we'll be doing, not with me right now, but in the class, but you can do it on your own, is a bunch of things that help soften the muscles around the hip joints. You can't really open the hips, although that's how we describe it. And if you are physically constructed in such a way that the mobility of your hip joints, or your legs actually in the hip joints, if you're constructed in a certain way, you're going to only be able to do things in a certain way. And no amount of softening or opening is going to be able to change that. And when we try to force this round body into a square peg or square hole, or vice versa, we injure ourselves, or we get discouraged and we quit doing yoga because yoga isn't for us. Well, my very deep-seated belief is that yoga is for everybody, but we need to do it in a way that honors the body we're in right here, right now. So today is a full moon. I'm going to work on letting go of that rage. It's one of the practices we can do at a full moon is to release and let go. And so one of the things we'll be doing is a pose that I absolutely hated for the first couple of years that I was doing yoga, and now adore, but I recognize how challenging it is for so many people. So anyway, we'll start by doing things that soften the muscles around the hips, like Baddha Konasana. Feet are together, knees are open, and instead of forcing anything like this, we support ourselves. So we're using props, as Mr. Iyengar did, and as so many of us do, to allow the body to open at its pace, in its time, rather than according to our ego's desires. It's so hard. We're so human. So this is one thing that we do, and we can sit here for a long time and breathe and be, and then we can stretch our legs out into Upavista Konasana, toes up to the sky, thighs, the flesh of the thighs turned in, the tip of the pubic bone tilted slightly forward. And again, you can use props. You can sit on the very edge of a block, although that's not particularly comfortable, which is why I prefer to use blankets. But that helps the pubic bone tilt forward. the top and the front tilt forward, which makes it easier for us to actually do the pose. This is where a lot of people end up, and it's not because there's something wrong with them, it's because we're human and our bodies are as they are. We can do lunges, high lunges. A lot of people advocate pigeon. I would only advocate supported pigeon for you. And which one is that? Pigeon looks sort of like this. I'll turn sideways so you can see better. But not many people, I mean, if you have tight hips, if you have bone structure that doesn't allow for this, this is dangerous and can induce harm. So use props, use support. And if it doesn't feel right, or if you're taking care of your knee, don't do it, because that's always an option. And there's nothing wrong with you for choosing, for any reason, not to do something that you're invited to do. So Ardha Chandrasana, or balancing half moon, often looks like this because people are either afraid of turning all the way to the side, excuse me. They're afraid to do this. There's nothing wrong with you for being afraid to do that. Or I'm on my right leg. So the thigh in the hip joint doesn't turn this way. And you can't force it. So does that mean not do the pose? I like to play in the poses, but I like you to be safe in your poses. So if this is where you can be, first of all, you can lean, let me move back a little bit, you can lean against the wall to support you so that you're less fearful. You can just do this, but don't raise your hand up into the air because that puts so much pressure on the rest of your body. And just just stay forward and practice your balancing. So this is an expression of balancing half moon, but so is leaning against the wall. So is this, and this might be yours. And let's let that be okay, right? So let's take a moment and close your eyes and let yourself breathe and be. Let yourself give yourself permission to release, to let go of all the things or one particular thing that at some point served you. So let's not judge and shame and criticize ourselves for having that or doing that. Let's remember that at some point it served us. And let's thank this full moon for helping us release it. Many blessings.